Hi, let's talk about money. In my last video, I covered things of necessity. That's things that you need to put into consideration first when you receive some funds. Let's say when you receive your monthly income. I listed and explained them in details in the practical form. Sometimes people see expenses that you incur in the process of your children upkeep is necessary to be regarded as things of necessity. However, to me, I don't see them as things of necessity. I see them as a secondary item. I live in a country where school fees are paid by the government. Actually, the school fees portion is covered by the government. So I don't need to worry about it. That's a thing of necessity. Also, in the country that I live, there are benefits. However, I don't claim any benefits because it's something that I don't do. There are reasons for it. However, I can just give you one of the reasons. It's just because I am a higher income earner. So in that regard, I don't get anything. And when I even apply, they won't mind me because my income, I'm higher income earner. So I need to put that aside. Therefore, when it comes to my children's upkeep, I don't see the activity costs associated with the upkeep of my children as a thing of necessity. Because what I would need for them is to buy them clothes, that's their clothing, of course their toys, of course buying them chocolates, those essential things that children need. However, I don't see them as an item of necessity. I see them as secondary items. I wanted to cover secondary items today, but I don't want to cover it today. I still want to finish with the items of necessity. So come to think of it, what do you think you really need? Something that if you don't pay, it will affect you as a person, in a sense that someone will be on your neck. There will be a legal proceeding initiated against you. Think of it. If you don't have any in mind, then your things of necessity, things that you regard as things of necessity, stops there. After putting rent, food, internet, utilities into consideration, that's where you stop. Don't go overboard. Don't overthink. I'm working in corporate, so I will need some suits. That's not an item of necessity. If you have a nice trousers, a nice corporate trousers, you have some shirts, believe me, you can manage. You can manage. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't buy shirts and trousers. That's not what I'm saying. But it's a secondary item. So we'll come there. But people that they work in corporate, they feel every month they need to buy new shirts, new trousers, new shoes. It doesn't work like that. When you really want to manage your income. Now, when it comes to credit management, there are certain portion of it that we can regard them as things of necessity. So for example, you have a credit card. There's a minimum payment that you need to do. If you don't pay that minimum payment that you need to do on a monthly basis, which is suggested to you by the credit company, if you don't pay, that will lead to legal proceedings against you. It means that you defaulted, and when you default, that will be regarded as a missed payment or late payment, or not even paying at all, which will lead to what we call CCJ. So because of that, that will be regarded as item of necessity. It's something that you need to pay. If you don't pay, of course, you have a problem. And you don't want to have a problem with your credit company. You don't want to have a problem with any financial institute. If you have a problem with any of these financial institutions, you are stuck. Because we are living in the world of credit. It affects so many things, but I want to handle credit management as a topic on its own because it's very broad. So we'll talk about that later. So things of necessity. What do you see as things of necessity? We've mentioned the 4 top items to be regarded as things of necessity. We've added minimum payment to it as a thing of necessity. So what else do you see as things of necessity? I've spoken about my own obligation when it comes to monthly allowance that I give my mom. So I see that as a thing of necessity, just me. It's a personal thing. But I don't know about you. So do you get it? I don't know about you, but I have a personal reason of seeing that as a thing of necessity. Someone might not see that as a thing of necessity, especially if your parents are on pension, if your parents are rich, if your parents are well-to-do, therefore you are saving that money. But my mom is old and needs my help, so I see that as a thing of necessity. She's old and doesn't have a pension, so I see that as a thing of necessity. So yeah. Now, what else can we regard? I want to make sure that I cover all the ramifications about this subject that I'm talking about. That's an item of necessity, things of necessity that you need to consider first before you move to the secondary item. So think about it. Just sit down, think about it. What is a thing of necessity? What is an item of necessity? What do you have in mind? To give you a clue again, if you don't pay these items, either a legal proceedings will be carried against you, either you won't have a roof on your head, either you won't be able to eat, which will lead to health issues and can even lead to something that you least expect. I don't want to mention it, but you know what I mean. Can lead to that. Yes, so these things must be catered for. And since they must be catered for first, we regard them as things of necessity. Roof over your head, very, very important. And to have a roof over your head, it means utilities will come in, you need to pay, or else you won't have water running, you won't have electricity to do stuff. So they are regarded as things of necessity. In fact, if you don't pay, it will even affect your credit records. So they are regarded as things of necessity. Internet, we are living in the digital age now, and anything that you do is either indirectly or directly linked to the digital world. Therefore, you need to have internet. So these are what we regard as things of necessity. Your car is not a thing of necessity. That's a secondary item. We'll talk about it later. I'll make you understand why it's a secondary item. So we talk about it as a secondary item. It's just a luxury because we live in a community whereby public transport is very effective. Therefore, they are not categorized in this section. That's luxury. That's secondary item. So we'll talk about it later. So please go and watch my first video, my second video, and now this is my third video. And they are on YouTube. Just search my name and my video should come up. And please take your time to watch the first video, the second video, and you are going to learn a lot. It's about 40 minutes video, or 40 or 50 minutes video. So take your time to watch it. Nothing is boring if you really want to gain something from it. So this my third video about items of necessity is very short because I believe we've covered everything and I've made you to understand the items you should look out for, which you can categorize or which you can include as your list of items of necessity. Thank you and see you in my next video. Bye.